Hey, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to do the PMT function. We're going to figure out our monthly payment. So if you're buying a new TV and it costs $2,500, you're going to take 2 years to pay it off, and you're going to have to pay 7.5% interest. And you're going to pay it for over 24 months, and we're going to pay $500 down. What is our monthly payment? So I'm going to go to the Insert Function button, search for PMT. First thing that I want to know is what is the interest rate. So this is the interest rate, but if you look down here, it says if you're paying quarterly, divide by 4. We're paying monthly, so we would divide by 12 since there's 12 months in a year. Wants to know what is the total number of payments. So if we're paying monthly over a 2-year period, that's 24 months. So I'm going to click where I have 24. If you don't have that written anywhere, you would type it. Present value is the total amount that we're going to be borrowing. So right now I'm going to be borrowing $2,500, but I'm going to pay $500 down. So I'm going to subtract that, and you'll notice that currently I'm borrowing $2,000. Future value is not required, but the type lets us know, is the payment going to be due at the beginning of the period or the end? And if it's the beginning, you'll put a 1. So I'm going to put a 1 there. And right now you'll notice it's showing up as a negative. So right now it's negative. To adjust that, you can just add a negative sign in front of the PMT, and it will give us a positive $89.44 is what we will owe. In this example, I'm going to be getting a new car. Let's say it's $33,000. Let's say we're going to take 5 years to pay it off, and we're getting it at 5% interest. Click where I want the answer to go. Let's find our PMT function. 5% interest rate. If I'm paying quarterly, I divide by 4. Since I'm paying monthly, I'm going to divide by 12. Number of payments. It's 5 years, but that's not the total number of payments, so I'd need to multiply that times 12 since there are 12 months, so that's 60 months, 60 payments. The present value of the loan is $33,000, but let's say I was going to do a down payment of $10,000. Put that in there. So now I'm going to be borrowing $23,000, and it's going to be due at the beginning of each period. And then you would just put a negative sign in front of the PMT up here, and we'll have a $432 payment every month. In our last example, if we're going to buy a new house for, let's say, $165,000, it's going to be a 30-year loan at 4.5% interest. What would our monthly payment be? Click the Insert Payment button. The interest rate's 4.5%. If you pay quarterly, divide by 4. If you pay monthly, divide by 12. The number of payments, well, it's a 30-year loan, but it's more than 30 payments, so I'm going to multiply this times 12 since there are 12 months in every year. And the present value is how much money I'm going to be borrowing. So I'm going to click that amount. And if I'm going to pay, let's say, $50,000 down on this house, I'll subtract that. That's my down payment, because I'm only going to be borrowing $115,000, and I'm going to put a 1 here because it's going to be due at the beginning of the period. It's going to show up my payment is negative, so I'm going to go up here to my formula bar, put a negative sign in front of that, and this shows that for the next 30 years I'll be paying $580.51. To figure out how much you'd be paying over the next 30 years, you could just do equals this times 360 payments. And that shows that for a $165,000 loan, I'll be paying $208,984. So you could do another formula, equals this minus this. So that's an additional $43,984 that we had to borrow in order to buy this house.